Welcome back. Today's video is on the new Harbor Freight US General 34-inch full bank service cart. I've been eyeing this thing for a while and it finally went on sale, so I thought I'd do an unboxing as well as a review of the pros and cons of this box, as well as just talking about maybe why I chose it, as well as some other things to consider when you're looking for a toolbox, especially for this one. So without further ado, let's get started by just going over some of the initial features, which you can see right there. I'll zoom us in so we can go over those. So as you can see there on the left, this cart has a 1,200 pound weight capacity, 18,700 cubic inches of storage space. Each drawer can hold about 100 pounds with the slide capacity. There are 6 locking drawers. Apparently has an industrial powder coated finish which resists rust, and it includes 4 locking swivel casters, which is a really nice feature about this box. So if you're like me, I unfortunately use this as my quote-unquote truck. So I'm going to tell you the dimensions here of the box as it stands with the pallet that it's strapped to, just in case you have to find a fun way besides using a truck to get it. You can get that determined. And just so you know, I was able to take it in my Jeep laying down on its side. That's not recommended, as you'll see on the box. It says not to tilt or to tip, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So anyway, let's go over those dimensions. The total length of the box is 37¼ inches. The total height of the pallet and the box is 47½ inches. The total width is 25½. So without further ado, let's jump into unboxing this. Let's see if it also survived being tipped over for half an hour. So before we get too far down the road, the first thing I want to do is install the casters, which are obviously not on the box right now. Those are located in the bottom drawer, which I only know because I've watched a lot of videos on this toolbox, so that will help you before you have to scramble opening all of the drawers. So I believe the toolbox does come locked, from the factory. So what you'll want to do first is come over to the front. Oh man, look at that. Fancy. Is unlock the box. And then inside there's a little latch, which I'll show you once we get in. Just unlock that, and then you'll want to go to the bottom drawer to retrieve the casters. Hardware, got the bolts and the washers, and then we got these beautiful 6-inch swivel casters. Looks like they do come with some Zerk, so you can put some grease in there. And you can see in there the bearings look actually pretty well greased. Good job, Harbor Freight, on that. And yep, they're all locking, which is really nice, and swiveling, so much easier to maneuver around your shop. So let's get these 4 installed. So to be eco-friendly and also to save the back of the box and my back since I'm working alone, I just laid the box here down on the cardboard, as you can see from the top. Once you take off the straps, you actually don't need to cut off the top of the box like I did and open it. I actually recommend that you don't, that you just pull it straight up. That way you can have the box intact and let it get smushed, so that we can take off these pieces and install the casters. And these do take a 13mm socket. what it's worth, looks like the casters came with an extra bolt. Don't know if that was intentional, but just thought I'd let you know. It comes with a Torx key, so I guess if you buy the toolbox, you get a free tool. Look at that. And the nice thing about the toolbox, besides it rolling very nicely, is the other side also has holes that you can put that push bar on. So now let's get into the actual insides here and talk about the pros and cons of this box. I'll apologize in advance if you can hear the birds in the background. So as you can see, here it is all assembled. I got my push bar here on the left-hand side. So I'll just talk about the exterior of the box. Things I like, I do like how the drawers are a little bit bigger. That's just preference. Ultimately, it's up to you. If you kind of like the skinnier drawers, then this box might not be for you. But I kind of like the idea of being able to maybe get some organizers to really fit things nicely in here. And the next part about this box that I'm not really sure how I feel about is the black on black. I feel like it would have been better if it was maybe chrome or silver, but the fact that it's black on black, that I'm not on board with. I don't really like that, but not a make or break kind of a thing. Nice thing here, key-wise, I like how it comes with 3 tubular lock keys here. I like that because you can have one maybe at your shop, if you work elsewhere, one for your, hide it maybe at your tool shop, so God forbid you forget, you'll know where it is. And the next part is, with these keys, you can also have one maybe on a key ring for your car. If you have 2 cars that you drive, you can put the other one there or leave one at home. So I just like that there's 3 rather than 2, because if you lose one, then you're really sweating. So there's that. So I'll take these off here. So additionally, another feature I like about this box is that it comes with these corner guards here. I do like that because especially, the whole point of this cart is so that you can be mobile with it. So if you get too close to a car in an accident, you're not gonna, ding up anything. I do like how, again, I've already mentioned this, it has 4 swivel casters, so it's pretty easy to maneuver to get where you want it to go. And it has 4 locking casters, so when you want it not to go anywhere, it will actually stay. The length of the box is 33 3/4 inches. When the lid is closed, the box is 46.5 inches or almost 4 feet. And lastly, the box's width is about 22 1/4 inches. So here's the top of the box. All of the drawers do come with liners, so I do like that you don't have to go out and buy that. That does come supplied with the box. Another nice thing is that you can independently lock the drawers versus the top. So if you want to lock the drawers, you can easily do that with a touch of a finger, and to the right you'll lock it, to the left you'll unlock it, and then if you want to lock the top or keep it opened, you'll use this tubular lock here to get that situated. Another nice feature about this box here on the top, I'll pull you over here, but this is where you can put an electrical outlet, or excuse me, you can run wiring for your chargers, if you want to put a strip in there, magnetic strip, just so you can keep all your power tools up here and keep them charged up. That is a nice feature there. So there it is up closer. So again, if you do want to have maybe some wires that go into your box, you can undo this nut, and then there's I believe it looks like, yeah, a pliable grommet that you can put your wiring through, or if you prefer to have it completely locked up, so just so nobody has access to your toolbox, you can leave this protective metal ring there, and that will keep your box closed. I'll show you what's in this. So it takes a 10mm socket or wrench. Move the bolt on the other side. You can just peel off this, peel off the one on the other side. So there you go. You can see there's the two plates, 1 and 2. And then you can put your wiring through, no problem. And if you don't want that open, you just put these back on, thread on the nut, and it's secure. Now for the layout of this box. So you can see we kind of have 3 chambers here. One here, a larger one in the middle, and then one on the side. I'll get my little tape measure here just to give you an idea of what those are. So it looks like for the box here in the middle, it's about 27 by about 20 3/4. Depth-wise, you're looking at least 6 3/4. It looks about across the whole top here. One thing I did notice that I really don't like. I'm gonna see if you can hopefully catch this. So I like how I love the top part of my toolboxes because that's where I keep all my sockets, rails, and whatnot. And because of that, it needs to be a level surface. And something that I really don't like about this box is that, as you can see here in the back, there's a little lip all around the entire thing. Let me see if it's in the front too. That will now offset anything flat that you want to put. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's anything in the front, but there is that lip that sticks out on these 3 sides. So just be aware of that you won't be able to really use the entirety of this surface being flat. So that's one thing I don't really enjoy about that, but again, I can probably get over it. All right, so now we're on the left side here of the box, just to show you the amount of different holes that it has that you can put some screwdrivers, pry bars, breaker bars, things like that. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on this side, and 3 of the smaller ones, which will fit, looks like screwdrivers, no problem. And then it looks like it drastically increases size, and you can see that this screwdriver is barely safe from falling through. And then the last 4 here, which I don't know what you'd be putting in here, but I mean, that screwdriver is probably the only thing that would fit in there that I own. Maybe this other cheapo rubber version. Okay, that one works. But most of your tools are going to probably fall through this thing. I mean, these 4 holes are huge. Let me see if the breaker bar can stay in there. Yeah, so just for reference, the Pittsburgh Comfort Grip breaker bar, 1/2-inch drive, would fall right through that thing. And the reason that's a problem is because there is no access besides a small, maybe 1/4 to 1/2-inch hole on the bottom of this toolbox. Essentially, this whole thing is a chamber. So if you lose something down there, you're gonna either have to try and fish it out through here or hope that it will fit through the hole in the bottom. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be cutting holes in your toolbox. And that's one thing I really don't like about this toolbox. I understand that they want to protect your tools, But then again, I mean, if it's even if it's open on the sides, the handles will stop it from falling through, and even if they do fall through, at least you'll be able to retrieve them. In this case, you'll have to do some toolbox surgery to get it out. So that's one thing I don't like, is I feel like these 6 holes are useful, but unless you got some very thick-handled things, these 4 holes I feel like are somewhat useless. I guess you could put a grommet in there, or maybe a washer and epoxy it on there, just so you can kind of shrink that hole, but that's one thing I'm not too in love with. So there's that side. Let's talk about the right side. So nothing really different on this side of it is the mirror image of the other side. We've got 10 holes, 4 larger, 3 in the middle, and then 2 smaller. Again, the exact same concerns on this side. There's a chamber, you won't be able to get it open, so just be very wary of anything that you put that could fall through, because it might become a part of the toolbox. The last thing that I'll cover on the top that I really do like about this toolbox is the front edge here where you'd stand is smooth. It's rounded, which I really like. I think that, you know, that really considers the person working in the toolbox. It's not made by somebody who's never used one, because if the sides were like this, that would be really uncomfortable to rest your hands on. But I like how it's thicker, it's rolled over, so you can put your arms over it, and you know, you won't get fatigued or pained or, you know, marked up by, you know, putting your hands over here while you fiddle around on the top. So that I really do like. One more con I'll mention here before I forget is, I guess one of the downsides, depending on how you like to set your tools up, is there's only one outlet here, port on the top. So if you prefer to kind of keep your top set up for sockets, screwdrivers, things that you frequently use, and maybe you like to store your power tools somewhere else, that is one of the maybe downsides of this, is that that cord really only goes up there, and you'd have to run another line or get another hole in the bottom or whatever drawer you want. So another con there. All right, now onto the drawers. I do like these drawers, again, I already mentioned, because they're larger and I feel like that works better for me. But also the 5 drawer cart, which many of you probably have seen before or maybe even used yourselves. There's one major downside to it, and that's that you have to put your hand over here to unlatch the drawer. With this cart, there's a plastic line across the whole thing that makes it that you can grab here, you can grab it all the way over here, or even in the middle, and the drawer will open. So that is nice, that you don't have to get used to putting your hand on one part of the drawer to open. So you can hear, that's that little plastic liner. Nothing too crazy about these drawers. Honestly, most of them are the same, so what I say here is going to apply to all except the bottom one. So one thing I really do like about this toolbox, in addition, as you can see here, flush. Very important, especially if you use blow molded cases, or if you just like to stack your toolbox full. These drawers all allow, as you can see here, for a flush opening. So it's nice that you can put things all the way to the very back of your toolbox and pull it straight out without having to move things around, because your drawer only opens like this, which my old Craftsman do. Don't get me wrong, I do love them, but man, that is one pet peeve of mine, is that I can't really use efficiently all of my storage because the drawer does not open all the way. So that was a huge selling point for me, is I really wanted all of my drawers to open. Again, I also wanted them to all be deeper, so I felt like that's really what sold this toolbox to me. I'll give you the measurements of these drawers. I think most of these are online, but just so you can see that it all adds up here. So the drawer is 28 inches wide. It is about 19 and a half deep here, and then it is 3 3/4 inches deep. Well, that's just up to the wall here. Yeah, it's about 4 inches deep, but up to the wall here, it's about 3 and a half. So yeah, that's the drawers. Again, I'm not going to go through all 4 of them, or I guess all 5 of them that are the same. I do like that it seems like whoever cut these actually, or whatever machine did a pretty good job making sure that the liners were actually square and actually fit the whole thing. So And then we'll go down here to the bottom drawer. This one, of course, is different than the other 5. This one, I'll bring it down closer here. So this drawer is the only one that's different from the rest. This one does have 2 drawer slides, so it can carry more weight. This one is, of course, also 28 tall. It's double, it's 6, let's see, it's about 7 inches there to the top. And I mean, obviously it's gonna be the same depth as the other one. So it's about 19.5. And yeah, there's double slides here on the sides. So there's one there and one here, as you can kind of see. So that's the nice thing, is you can really load this bottom drawer up, which I know a lot of people like to use for their blow molded cases, sometimes power tools, because they're just so, you know, oddly shaped and whatnot, which is the downside of this toolbox, that there's not a power strip here that you can put in the back that's factory. You have to kind of get creative and make your own. So if that is something that interests you, just keep that in mind, that you're gonna have to do some engineering here to make it suit your needs. So that is the toolbox. So that's the box. Again, I'm really excited about this. One of the biggest selling points, besides having a lot of the features I liked, I got a really good deal on it. When these toolboxes first came out, they were going for $700, which is pretty good. But I know there's a lot of people saying that was way too much, that they wouldn't pay that much money for this toolbox. And I think Harbor Freight actually listened, because not that long after, this toolbox now runs normally for $600. Even with the price of inflation and other things like that, shortages and whatnot, Harbor Freight did lower the price of this pretty soon after its release. So I think that was kind of cool of them, that I assume that they listened to the feedback and actually lowered the price. So yeah, this toolbox is normally around $600. Sometimes around Black Friday and other big holiday sales, this is as cheap as $500, which is pretty crazy, seeing as it started out at $700. I got $50 off of this toolbox. I bought it for a Memorial Day sale. So yeah, just keep an eye out for the coupons. It's worth the wait. I mean, the toolbox is nice, but hey, if you can save $50 by waiting just a little bit longer, or even $100, I would definitely say it's worth it. Any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Happy to answer that. I'll probably do a video maybe a year later, just to show how it's holding up. Maybe I'll also do a tour of how I've kind of set up my toolbox with more tools, because I'm looking to kind of fit a lot of my stuff in here. I wanted a nice new box with good drawers and whatnot. So yeah, questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comment section below. If you like yours, tell me things that maybe you've done to modify it, or maybe some ways to get around some of the cons to this toolbox, or whatever feedback you have. I would really appreciate it, and I know others would benefit as well. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a like if it was helpful, maybe helped you make a decision on whether this is the right toolbox, and I'll catch you in the next one. And I did want to show you this before I forget. So here you can see top box is locked. That way, if you want to work on top of it or whatever, you can do that. And then if you want to still open up your drawers, you can. So super nice, that independent locking mechanism, so you can either lock or unlock the drawers by themselves, and you can lock and unlock the top by using that tubular lock right there.